Scene 1, take 1. Action.
Wait, don't put it in the trash, put it in recycling.
Wait, why?
Because it can stop climate change and be turned into something else.
Oh, so if I were to put this in here, then the plastic would get all tangled in garbage and would be hard to sort?
You could use reusable water like me and fill in the stations over there.
Oh, okay. I may need to get one of those.
For more information on recycling in our town, visit www.town.dartmouth.ma.us. In the search bar, you can search solid waste and recycling to learn more information about recycling and what you can do to help. Get the job done, recycle, and have fun.
All right, everybody, and welcome to our Super Bowl show of DHS SportsCenter. Today, we are live once again here at Cask and Big of North Dartmouth, and I'm here with our athletic director, Mr. Chris Foley, and our director of teaching and learning, Dr. Tebow. Welcome.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and this is the final.
Thanks for having me again after a 1-year hiatus.
I think it was a few years.
No,
Was it a few? Just 1 year.
Just 1 year?
Yeah.
Because the last time he was here was the original Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl, and now we're back for the second time in a row for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles back in the Super Bowl once again.
I'm sure you got that pick wrong.
Who did?
Yeah,
You. I'm sure you got it wrong.
we all
I believe you did too.
Hey, we all had a clean sweep last year, and guess what? We all lost for the past 2 years, and hopefully, our predictions are about a little bit different this time around. I'm hoping, but first things first, we're gonna just start off. Kansas City so far this season, led by Patrick Mahomes, they're defending back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Looking for the three-peat this season now, as they are back to the Super Bowl to defend their title once again. One thing that I really thought about Kansas City this season is just that every game they just played lights out. I feel like Patrick Mahomes, his receivers showed up for him midway through the year. They had DeAndre Hopkins come in. Travis Kelce a little bit quiet this year throughout the regular season and so far in the playoffs. But overall, in some games, they lost a lot of players along the way. They lost Rashee Rice to an injury in mid-season. They lost Pacheco around week 2, but he returned week 8 due to a fibula fracture. But again, though, along the way, Kansas City's, I think if you ask me, past couple of years, it's been down to the trenches, like you say. I think this game might go down to the trenches. We'll see how Kansas City does, but we'll turn it over to Mr. Tebow, Dr. Tebow on Kansas City.
Well, a few things that you said, Ben. I think it will come down to the trenches. And I think that the Eagles are well equipped to kind of control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Defensively, Jalen Carter is a beast, absolute game wrecker. And in terms of on offense, even though you might not be able to name a Jason Kelce, who used to be their star center, right? Just look at what Saquon has been able to do and continue to do in the playoffs. He doesn't do that without the offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage. So,
yeah,
the one concern I would have if I were the Eagles is which Jalen Hurts shows up. The one who runs and makes plays with his legs, or the one who's been looking to slide and avoid contact after his concussion and after his knee injury. And I think that will ultimately be the deciding factor in the game.
Throughout his career, Saquon Barkley did deal with a lot of injuries, along with the Giants. And one of the main issues this year is that the New York Giants let go Saquon Barkley. And that was such a big situation for the Giants. The Giants didn't fire their GM after this season. After, I think they were 3-14 record, with the 3-14 record. They didn't fire their GM. They didn't fire Brian Dable because they were confident in Brian Dable still because I don't know. To me, I don't think Brian Dable's head coaching material. I think he's a better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach. So, but along the way, you look at Kansas City and you look at their offensive line too. They got good center. They have good tackles like Jawan Taylor, and not tackle, but a good offensive line overall. They have Joe Tooney, who's going to possibly win his 5th Super Bowl. Potentially a Hall of Famer, in my words.
Yeah, Joe Tooney, they've kicked him out to left tackle, I believe, because of injuries. He's obviously an interior offensive lineman, but he's played tackle. He played tackle in the AFC Championship game and more than held his own. But I do think that the clock's about to strike midnight for Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Chiefs. And I am confident that the Eagles will control the line of scrimmage and make just enough plays to control the game.
Go ahead.
My thoughts?
Yeah, your thoughts. It's Kansas City.
I'm a big Eagles fan on Sunday. I certainly don't want to see the Chiefs win. I do agree with the two of you where the offensive and defensive lines in the trenches will determine the outcome. I think if you compare the last time these two faced off in the Super Bowl in comparison to this time, I would say that the offensive line for the Eagles is, I think, just as competitive as they were 2 years ago, but you have the big difference maker in Saquon in the backfield. I do think Jalen Hurts' knee injury could play a factor in some of his mobility. I hope it doesn't, but it could. I also think A.J. Brown is a tremendous mismatch for the Chiefs defensively, in which you could see him have a really good game or some passes out of the backfield for Saquon. And I think Fangio, the defense coordinator for the Eagles, is also as important as anyone on the field because his defenses traditionally have been very, very strong, and he always tries to take away the top options and make you beat him and with your third and your fourth player. And I don't think the Chiefs are as deep this year as they have been. So that could be a real good matchup for the Eagles defensively. Jalen Carter up front is good as they come. I think having Reddick injured and not playing in the game as a DN for the Eagles hurts.
Reddick got traded to the Jets.
Oh, not Reddick. I'm sorry. Who's the guy that just got hurt on the defensive line?
N'Kobe Dean.
Dean. I'm sorry, Dean. Outside linebacker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dean.
I think we should have
Good fact check for that one.
Yeah, I think we should have drafted
Dean,
him back in 2022.
I would agree, but we can't dwell on the past, Ben. We can't dwell on the past.
Ben, you really saved him. You know that, right? Up until the point where he quoted someone who was talked about someone who was traded. Up until that point, he had taken all my takes and recycled them, and that was his first original take. And it was,
Well,
you saved.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you brought up Coach Fangio.
I didn't. I want to save some meat for you. I happen to agree
Or
with you.
A.J. Brown.
Well, so two things about that. One, I agree with you about Fangio. I think Spagnuolo gets a lot of credit for being a great defensive coordinator, and I think there's no doubt
agree.
he is.
I
But
agree.
I do think it's a little overblown at this point. I think Fangio is, flies under the radar a little bit more, but is as good a defensive coordinator as they come in the NFL. So I agree with you on that point, Mr. Christopoli. The other piece, though, I'm really concerned about, you mentioned A.J. Brown, and I just don't know if he'll have time. I think he's preparing a high-level book report, and so I'm not sure he'll actually have time to run any routes during the game.
Well, he does put himself in a position where he's a very studious student athlete, and that's pretty admirable, especially when some young student athletes have been watching him play and see how important that reading and self-reflection and self-improvement are to a NFL player. In between series, he's multitasking. I mean, guy's pretty impressive. He is a physical specimen, but I think the reading and reviewing self-help books in between plays and series, I think, is pretty impressive. Mm-hmm. You know what else is pretty impressive? these nachos.
Yeah, I was hoping Ben was going to ask us about our favorite Super Bowl foods.
I was going to ask you midway through as we're in halftime report right now.
All right, okay.
All right, this is halftime. We have our trash can nachos brought to you by Cask and Pig.
You're going to stop talking because these nachos are going to be gone by the time you're done
yeah.
talking.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Now, I have to say, pulled pork is the way to go.
Over chicken?
I know you and Mr. Christopoli have the chicken, but...
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate this, though? I mean,
it's an 11. It's an 11.
How about you?
Highly recommend. I mean, they're a little bit messy, so I do feel bad for anyone who's watched this long and is seeing this, but, you got to enjoy them. It's only the Super Bowl.
I think we've been putting on quite a show of just eating the nachos.
Eating and talking.
They call it a little bit of a mukbang on YouTube, though. So,
I mean, I haven't eaten in a while, so I'm certainly not turning back.
all right.
Ben, what's your favorite snack or food for Super Bowl Sunday?
I'd say my favorite snack for Super Bowl Sunday is basically, I'd probably say chips and salsa. Got to keep it a little bit ordinary. Trying to think along the way. Buffalo chicken dip, that's for sure.
Oh God, the nachos! Here comes Mr. Pirati.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, I want to get this on.
Hey, we need a Grinch over
to
here.
Get this on air. Steal it with your fingers. Oh my, jeez.
Can you sanitize your hands, please?
Yeah.
Nothing on it, and I guess I'll pick up.
Jeez.
I'll tell you, the hired help these days.
Mr. Pirati.
All right.
You're a good guy.
All right, but back to my story. Buffalo chicken dip.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was actually going to say, Ben, anything buffalo chicken is
yeah.
a must-have for the game. Buffalo chicken dip, buffalo chicken calzone, buffalo chicken pizza, buffalo chicken.
Oh my
It's a
God.
lot like Bubba from Forrest Gump. That's a dated reference. But Mr. Christopoli gets it.
Yeah. How about queso? I love queso. Chips
Yeah.
and queso.
Queso's okay, but
No.
You better dig in.
if I had to pick, I'd go buffalo
Come
chicken.
on, load up that plate.
Also, anything Portuguese as well. My heritage as a Portuguese American. I really like
Ben,
Mozambique fries.
Yeah.
Mozambique fries are fantastic.
Ben, let's see how good your memory is. Do you remember my favorite food that I shared 2 years ago? Or even 3 years ago. It might have been your freshman year. And you had a great laugh if we could review that film.
That was Rams versus Bengals.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Buffalo chicken dip, right?
Yeah, I was one of them. I shared a couple.
I remember.
Let me help you out
To
on
think
this.
about it. I remember when Mr. Dr. Tebow was like, "This is like Thanksgiving dinner for you," and whatnot.
That was when he was Mr. Tebow.
Yeah, that's
Now he's Dr. Tebow.
Only to you, Mr. Christopoli. Only to you.
I forget. No, I'll pass.
Buffalo wings,
Oh yeah.
dip. Because I remember you saying that you were going to bring some dip, but I've been still
That's
waiting
2
for
years.
almost
That
4
was 2
years.
years. That was 2
Okay,
years
sorry.
ago, so.
I've been waiting almost 3 years now. I love potato skins.
Oh
Yeah, yes, he does. I can vouch for that.
I love potato skins. I remember you were like, "Oh, those are fantastic," and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I can crave for that any day of the week. But
I love.
The thing about Mr. Christopoli and potato skins is he eats them like Tic Tacs.
They go down easily.
I've never seen it. How half a potato.
It's almost as impressive as Mr. Tebow eating cheesy poofs.
That's true. I've been known to put a cheesy poop or two down.
1 or 2 or 400. That's all right. We still love you, Dr. Tebow.
Thank you.
that was a major throwback, by the way. Those were good times too. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know we were all in masks back then, but that was
we
still
removed the mask to eat, though. Remember?
no. Now we can. Back then we couldn't. So.
Do you remember Mr. Parati's mask?
Yeah.
He had it altered with a little zipper so he could eat through it. Do you remember that? He unzipped
I remember
it.
that.
I don't remember that. He had a zipper?
Yeah.
Did he get his lips caught? No.
All right. Halftime report's over. All right.
Back to the game?
We're back to the game.
All right, okay.
Next topic here is the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe they're 13-4, this season. They just added Saquon in the offseason, added another receiver, Jahan Dotson, back in the before the season started. They lost some players along the way too, but like you just said, injuries have killed them a little bit. Jalen Hurts had a concussion. He has a knee. He's dealing with that knee, and I don't. To be honest with you, here's the thing with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's a bit of an advantage, disadvantage actually. This time around, I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles are more superior than they were 2 years ago. They now have Saquon Barkley, who is shedding tackles. He's faster on the field, the fastest player on the Eagles team, if you ask me. They have a great defense, a new revamped defense, all Georgia players. So it's great to have like a whole Georgia chemistry come here. New offensive coordinator, that was their issue last year. Kellen Moore has been a great offensive coordinator, and undoubtedly, like the past couple of teams, he's coached with the Cowboys and he coached with the Chargers.
Do you think he's going to become a head coach this offseason?
To the Saints, that's tough to think. I think he might, but we'll see down the road, though. However, but in my opinion, though, you know, Vic Fangio just came in as well. There was a lot of players who came in and out of this organization. We were questionable about Nick Sirianni and how long he would stay as the Philadelphia Eagles head coach. People earlier in like week 4 were like, I don't think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't think they're going to go to the Super Bowl because Nick Sirianni doesn't coach offense or defense. So.
You know that Nick Sirianni was the offensive coordinator for the Colts?
I knew that.
Back in the day?
Yeah. I was actually, so this summer I was at the Patriots joint practice against the Philadelphia Eagles. And that day it was actually Matt Judon's last practice as a Patriot. So, one of the plays that got the crowd going was when he stripped Saquon Barkley as he was going into the end zone. Like, punched the ball out last minute as the whistle was blown. And I could just hear roars roaring in and whatnot, so I thought it was funny. But if you look at the receivers, too, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, my favorite guy, went to Alabama, won a Heisman, won 2 national championships with Alabama.
Devonta Smith won a Heisman?
Yeah, you didn't know that.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
That's not even a hot take.
Coach,
That's
Hassan
fact.
Reddick.
That's fact.
Hassan Reddick traded. Held out. You might have heard about that.
I did. I was actually hoping the Patriots were going to pick him up.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
So what do we got for predictions?
We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
We're still talking about the Eagles.
Okay.
All right.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I just want it to be known throughout the Dartmouth community that what I think the difference is going to be for the Eagles is their super fan, Mr. Tom Ungst. Eagles super fan, little known fact. Fly, Eagles, fly. Shout out to Mr. Ungst. I really believe that anyone with the skill of Mr. Ungst in terms of percussion and that, he obviously, knows how to pick his team. And a few years ago, I was rooting against the Eagles, and Mr. Ungst had the last laugh because they beat the Patriots. Now I'm with you, Mr. Ungst. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Do you still want to add on to what do you want to talk about the Eagles though?
Well, I mentioned Jalen Carter. I talked more about the Eagles in the opening
Yeah.
take when you asked about the Chiefs because I just think they're going to control. I would just say that, to reiterate, between the offensive line and Saquon and the defensive line, I think the defensive line really has the chance to make a difference in this game. If Jalen Carter can routinely push the pocket and get pressure on Mahomes, I think that could be all the difference. The one concern I have for the Eagles, and you mentioned the depth of the Chiefs earlier, Ben. I think that the Chiefs are as deep as they've been in a long time because now that Hollywood Brown is back, I think he takes on the number one corner, and I think that that opens things up for Xavier Worthy, the outstanding and very fleet-footed wide receiver of the Chiefs. And I think that's who I think, if the Chiefs win, it's going to be because the Eagles can't stop Worthy or even Hopkins. It's not going to be because of Kelsey or Hollywood Brown.
I think it's going to really rely on the final minutes of the fourth quarter because and you've heard this in the and you've heard it and you've seen it in the last game against Buffalo. In the final minutes, they're really strong. That's what makes them good is that they show out in the last minute and they're a great closeout team. So that's what makes them good this year. That's why they have such a good record. And there's been conspiracy theories about the referees a little bit, but
I was just gonna say, Ben, what really makes them good is when the referees throw a couple flags in their favor.
Foley will not like that.
No, well, that's because Mr. Foley, and I understand in his role as athletic director, he has to be complimentary of the officials, but as a critical consumer of the product, which is what I am, I can't sit by and tolerate poor officiating. There's no excuse for it. These are professionals. These aren't volunteers.
Yeah.
They get paid
They're
lots
lawyers.
of money.
They're lawyers. They're doctors. They're lawyers. They have a salary worth of $200,000.
Yep. So where Mr. Foley will apologize for poor officiating, Dr. Tebow will not. There's no excuse for it, and we really shouldn't tolerate it in the Super Bowl.
I think we have all missed a very important factor in the game. I think will be the Eagles' most challenging piece. Taylor Swift,
oh, come on.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that whole thing's kind of getting a little old.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it by now, though.
Wow.
Hey, well, I'm sick of it more than the Cowboy Carter winning the Grammys the other day in the Country Awards.
I can't have my daughters watch this show, Ben. They'll be coming for you and Mr. Foley with pitchforks if they hear your take on Taylor Swift. They love that. This will be the first Super Bowl they'll watch because Taylor Swift will be shown. What's the over under 10 times?
Thought it was last
11
year.
times? No, they have. They did watch last year because of
Taylor Swift.
Because of T Swift. And
I think that's one
I'll be
of the
honest with you. I happen to be a fan of Taylor Swift. I say bring it on. Bring her on. She's part of the game.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of getting sick of it not because of Taylor Swift. I personally think I don't hate Taylor Swift in many ways. I don't
like her.
I don't hate her music. I just don't like the media and all the other people going around it. I don't hate.
Yeah, is that her fault though?
No,
not at all. Right?
Not at all.
I mean,
I used to like her old albums up until 1989. That's it. One of the album of Red. That was one of my favorites of hers.
Have you ever been to a concert?
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been to a lot of concerts though.
No.
I'm not going. I only went to only one. That was Zach Brown Band a couple of years ago. I'm going to Morgan Wallen this summer, up in Gillette. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully down the road I might get the Super Bowl halftime performer, Kendrick Lamar.
When Taylor Swift arrives to the game, when she
Paparazzi.
has the paparazzi, she has security, she has the cameras, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
When Mr. Tebow shows up to his Swansea girls' youth basketball game. That's the type of energy and attention he brings to those events with those 12-year-old girls.
I hope you're going to give some context for what you're talking about.
Mr. Tebow coaches his daughter in rec basketball in the town of Swansea. He won the championship, I believe it was 2 years ago, when he was voted Coach of the Year.
You know.
And he actually, I think he received a trophy for it.
None of this is true, by the way. None of it. With
But
the exception
I do
being
think he
with
garners
the
the
exception
same.
being I do volunteer to coach my daughter's team.
Yes, and he does garner the same level of attention when he walks into the gymnasium.
Of Dartmouth High School.
No, at Case Junior High School.
Before we go into our predictions, you know.
Oh, I have a question. Can I ask one question? Mine's a serious question, not
To him?
Not well, just to the group of us here. Who do you think gets shown more during the Super Bowl, Taylor Swift or President Trump? Because both will be there. Both are obviously big names. Who do you think the media focuses on more?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, I understand that this is the president of the United States is coming to the game. I think that's drawing more attention than the Taylor Swift theory because everybody's so sick of Taylor Swift and whatnot. But Donald Trump will become the first president to attend the Super Bowl. So I think
Really?
yeah, you didn't know that? So like, I think the whole headline will be wrapped around President Trump being
The
at
first
the Super
sitting president to attend the
Bowl. Yeah,
Super Bowl.
the first sitting
Because
president.
George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush have both, Bill
Yeah,
Clinton
George
have
W.
both been coin
George
flippers.
H.W. Bush did the coin toss for the 28-3 game a couple years ago. So that's why I think, though, they're going to draw a lot of headlines around, like, Donald Trump here. So, I mean, now that he's attending the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl, that's what I think the whole theory will.
So you think he'll get more
Oh, yeah.
attention? I wonder if he'll stay for the whole game. Usually they go and they stay for just a bit and then they leave.
I guarantee he's just going to walk in, and then they're going to introduce him for the America the Beautiful. He's going to stand at the 50-yard line, and then when they sing the national anthem, he'll be right there, and then he'll go up in the booth, watch the game. And
I think we should
Probably-
pivot. I think we should pivot away from politics for a second, and let's talk about the predictions, the final predictions of the game.
I haven't got to the prediction. I was going to say the halftime show first.
Okay, who's doing the halftime show?
Kendrick Lamar
Is
and
Taylor Swift, you think, going to go out there?
no.
No.
Oh, they did do a song together, Bad Blood. So I mean,
Oh, I bet you they. Maybe she will. I don't think she will because she
it's
won't
Kendrick-
want to upstage.
Supposedly it's Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Kendrick Lamar, big year this year, came out with his album GNX, that was like top 5 in the Billboard 200 charts so far this year. His diss track to Drake, Not Like Us, was the #1 rap song of 2024, and now he's the Super Bowl halftime performer. Along with that, he's joining SZA, who is a R&B pop artist. I like her music too, but I think this is going to be a good halftime show. There hasn't been a better halftime show compared
Yes,
to that
to
Dr.
Snoop
Dre.
Dogg
Oh, yes,
and Dr. Dre.
excellent.
That was
Yes.
one of the greatest.
That
was
brought me
the
back
best.
to my high school years.
Yeah, in 1987.
Mr. Parati graduated college that year, I think.
I agree with you, Ben. That was the best halftime show.
Unbelievable. There's a lot of halftime shows that I think are good. I liked Lady Gaga's. I liked Shakira and J-Lo back then.
Are you making an appearance on a commercial this year
I wish.
as the Dunkings? That's what you were for Halloween, right?
Yeah.
If I remember, you and Mr. Lemler.
Yeah.
Sharon.
We should have been.
I think you and Mr. Lemler should shoot a commercial, in your Dunkings outfits.
yeah.
I'm an idea guy, Ben. It's okay.
Yeah,
That's a
we
great
should.
idea, right?
We should.
Maybe
though.
we should start first with both of them dressing in their costumes for a home basketball game. See how it goes, and then maybe
I think
pivot.
I think the players should. They should just dress up in Dunkings, walk in, and
You think so?
yeah, instead of just wearing their basketball shirts with the green on. And I went up to Johan and I was like, you guys got to dress up like stylish. You got to be looking lavish and like
Oh, lavish. That's a good
Yeah.
word.
I just care about.
in a fleshy suit and
I
whatnot.
just care about
Winning.
how we play and how competitive we are.
Yeah. Other than that, want to do predictions now?
Let's do predictions.
All right.
May I go last?
I was gonna go last.
All right,
'cause I
all
wanna
right.
Be like the Lee Corso.
I want this guy to go first, though.
Yeah, I'll let
You
him
wanna
go
be-
first.
You want to be Lee Corso?
No, I want to be Lee Corso at the end. So
Oh, don't trip on the
I
stage.
know, it almost fell over.
Well, I think I've been pretty clear with who I support for this Super Bowl, and it is the Eagles for two reasons. One, I think they are a better team, number one, and number two, just like many fans around the world, when the Patriots had their dynasty going,
you don't want.
they became public enemy number one, and I think the Chiefs have kind of grown into that role and in some ways have embraced it. But having said that, I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles 27-16 final. 27-16.
All right.
Me?
Yep.
You know who the winner is?
Go ahead.
The Patriots. The Patriots are the winner of the Super Bowl. Because
I mean, the Cancun Bowl.
No,
Probably
it's
the
the
Cancun Bowl.
Patriots because Mahomes is not Brady. Kelsey is not Gronkowski. Reed is not Belichick. Never will be.
Never will be.
The Patriots
will-
dynasty will
never-
live on as the greatest
That's a
dynasty
pretty
ever.
that's
I
a
wanna
pretty
add on-
intense take right there.
I want to add on to Kelsey will never be Gronkowski either because Kelsey's more of a wide receiver than he is a tight end. You don't see Kelsey like blocking guys. You don't see Kelsey like throwing dudes onto the ground. You saw not Gronkowski. You didn't see Kelsey like throw dudes on the ground. Gronkowski would lay out Ray Lewis, lay out guys like Ed Reed and all that kind of stuff. So all those other players too.
Yep,
but-
so Patriots are the first winner. Eagles are the second winner. And Mr. Ungst is the third winner because it will be a Fly Eagles Fly Monday.
yeah.
What about Mr. Unks being second on that list? Under the Eagles and then
Well,
the
I
Patriots.
feel like the Eagles have to get some credit for actually winning the game.
Well, no, Eagles number one, Mr. Unks number two.
Oh, no, the Patriots are number one.
All right. So what was your final score prediction?
Oh. I think it's going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a high-scoring shootout that the Eagles win, or I think it's going to be a defensive battle that the Eagles win. But I don't think it's going to be a 27-24 game. I think it's going to be one or the other. It's either going to be, a 20-17 win where it's kind of defense prevails, or it's going to be a 34-30
So,
win.
Before Ben shares his, who do you think, if you were to pick one underdog impact player on each team, who would it be? I can share mine first.
I'd say
Hassan Reddick. I mean, I'm only kidding. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt for the Chiefs because, if they can control the line of scrimmage and he is a pretty good-sized back, he can do some things. And I think for the Eagles, I'm going to say Gogurt.
Gogurt is what you eat. Goddard, the tight end.
And Gogurt, too. Goddard.
All right.
Okay, I take him as my little sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with the
think-
Eagles with Goddard. For the Chiefs, I would say Worthy.
I was about to say Worthy.
Yeah.
Worthy, is this somebody I know who may have dropped him in fantasy football? a little too early in the season?
At least he had neighbors, though.
Yeah, but
I had Worthy, Neighbors, and Brian Thomas Jr. Talk about three
and ask him if he won the Super Bowl or even if he made it to the Super Bowl.
best record in the league, Ben. Best record in the league.
You
2 years in a row.
You were the 1997 Broncos, my friend.
All right. I do agree with you. I think it's Xavier Worthy on the Chiefs side. But on the Eagles side, I look at guys like Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I love
Is he really a sleeper though? I mean,
wouldn't say
he's
such a
he's
sleeper,
their
but-
second. I mean, he's an all. If AJ Brown isn't on that team, he's a number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but he was a Heisman winner.
He was.
But a sleeper, I would say, and some people, I know he's not considered a sleeper, but I'd say Cooper DeJean. We haven't mentioned him all show long. He's probably one of the best corners on the team this year. Because, Darius Slay hasn't showed up for the past couple of years, too. But going on with my prediction here, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, 2 times in a row in the Super Bowl. Kansas City won the first time. This time around, there's nothing. I think if you look at it, the better team is the favorite. Vegas predicts that the Chiefs are favored by 1.5.
First time they've been favored in the last 3 Super Bowls they've been in.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, it's because they know the refs are ready to throw the flag this time. They've been working on it. This is what it looks like. They get 2 techniques. One is straight up in the air, and the other one is that way.
Have you seen Cooper DeJean's dunking in high school?
I did.
Go on YouTube. It's pretty impressive.
But you look at this, look at both teams and all this kind of stuff. Offensively, I think the Eagles are better. Defensively, I look at the Eagles. They're better than on defense. And when it's all said and done, I'm dedicating my vote to my former assistant principal at Quinn, Miss Yermolovich, who's a big Eagles fan. So, fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory.
That's pretty good, Ben.
Eagles fight, score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch them Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. EAGLES, Eagles.
That was good.
Give me Philadelphia, baby. Give me Philadelphia.
Before we cut, Mr. Parati and Mikey, can we get a close up of? It was a little messy on that side of the table with the nachos, and look at my clean plate.
The only thing you didn't do was lick it.
It's not too late. It's not too late, Coach.
All right. Anyways, I got the Eagles winning with the final score of 28-21. Actually, no. Sorry. I have 38-31. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
It's going to be a high-scoring game overall, though. So, thank you guys very much for coming on today. As you guys get your finishing beverages here, refreshments, thank you guys for coming on today. And, it's been a pleasure. Like usual, this is my last Super Bowl show, so...
Last Super Bowl show as a student at Dartmouth High School. I certainly don't see a reason why we cannot continue to do this post-high school while you're at Dean College, and maybe you can bring some special guests to add to our show.
Yeah, I'm hosting. I'm hoping, though, down the road I can go to the Super Bowl next year. I'm hoping so. As a media.
Really?
Yeah. Because that's what they do in that program is that they do, like...
I just think we should go on record. It should be the goal of Mr. Parati to get credentials for Dartmouth High School TV media program students.
To the Super Bowl.
To go to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
If he had any pull at all, he'd get us credentialed. We'd be on the road to the Super Bowl. I think that should be in the strategic plan. And quite frankly, I think that should be his professional practice goal.
All right.
I would 100% agree and support that idea.
All right. I'm on it too. So, again, thank you guys very much for coming on today. And, folks, stay right here. We'll be right back. We're going to be doing interviews in the hall with students on their predictions of this year's Super Bowl. Stick around. All right, we're here with Lucas Macedo and Michael Hawk. Who you guys got winning the Super Bowl this year?
I got the Eagles 24-27.
I got the Eagles by a landslide. I think Saquon's going to run all over them.
Thank you. All right, we're here with
Caleb DeSilva, Landon Raposa, Tyler Hathaway.
And who you guys got winning the Super Bowl this year?
I got the Chiefs 34-27.
The Chiefs, Mahomes never loses.
I learned that you can't bet against Mahomes, so Chiefs winning it all.
Thank you. All right, we're here with a couple of students at Miss McCarran Space. Who you guys got winning the Super Bowl this year?
Eagles.
I'm going Eagles, baby.
All right. All right, I'm here with Drew Spurlett, and who do you got winning the Super Bowl this year?
The Eagles.
All right, thank you. All right, we're here with a bunch of our kids from the Dartmouth football team. Who do we got for the Super Bowl this year?
Eagles.
All right, thank you. All right, we're here with a couple of students. Who you guys got winning the Super Bowl this year?
Go Eagles. Eagles, baby. I hate Mahomes.
Go Eagles. Eagles.
Thank you. All right, we're here with a bunch of new students. Who you guys got winning the Super Bowl?
Chiefs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same thing, the Chiefs.
All right, thank you. All right, we're here with Mr. Bro and a couple students. Who you guys got winning the Super Bowl?
I got the Birds, baby.
Yep, go Philadelphia.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of DHS SportsCenter. I would like to thank Dr. Tebow, our Director of Teaching and Learning, and Mr. Christopher, who is our Athletic Director here at Dartmouth High School. Folks, stay tuned for our next episode where we will be interviewing Catherine Cheeseborough about her record-breaking performance as she broke the record of Jessica Gasper on Tuesday night on February 4th. Folks, if you would like to tune in to DHS TV Media, subscribe, like, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos coming out soon. Stay tuned for that and more here on DHS SportsCenter. See you all soon.